Oh my god, you Manchester United fans have got to stop forcing every single transfer into Manchester United. Every single player that has a possibility of leaving their club instantly gets spammed by Manchester United fans on Twitter. Oh, we should be signing him because of this and this and this. We should be signing him because of this and this and this. Ed Woodward's not going to sign him, but we should sign him because he... No! Not every single player needs to sign for Manchester United. If I could count the number of players that have been linked with Manchester United every single transfer window since Sir Alex Ferguson has left the club, I'm sure you guys would have about 12 starting 11s. It's ridiculous. Stop it. Just stop it. And just let the club do its thing. Welcome to Sideline Politics. This is episode 2, man. And as of today, the 20th of January 2020, Edinson Cavani has handed in a transfer request to leave PSG. After 7 long years, it looks like Edinson Cavani could be on his way out of PSG. Now, this is no brainer. This has obviously happened because of the signing or the enhancement of Edinson Cavani in PSG's attacking force. Edinson Cavani has not really played that much, to be fair, this season, so it's no shock that he doesn't even want to stay for the remainder of the season because his contract does expire in the summer of 2020. However, he wants to get an exit now. He's handed in a transfer request. There's just over a week left in the transfer window for Europe. So they could possibly be an exit for him. It's just whether teams would be willing to pay the transfer fee instead of actually just approaching him with a contract, and they'd only have to pay him a sign-on fee, and that's about it. Now, over the course of Edinson Cavani's career at PSG, he has had 292 appearances, scoring 198 goals. Absolute madness. His best season was the 2016-17 season, where he had 50 appearances, scoring 49 goals. Absolutely insane. That was his best season to date, and he's been a great servant for PSG. He's been fantastic. It goes under the radar because a lot of us don't keep an eye on Ligue 1. I know, I put my hands up, I don't keep an eye on Ligue 1. I keep an eye on PSG's results because Neymar's my favourite player. Don't hate me. But I don't really keep an eye on Ligue 1. I know many football fans don't keep an eye on Ligue 1. It's a good league. It's produced some fantastic talent. It's continuing to produce fantastic talent. But because it's just a one-horse race all the time, I think we're just kind of put off it. But nevertheless, Edinson Cavani out there has been doing great. And like I said, 7 years is a very long time. You're approaching that decade mark. And, you know, he's definitely a club icon. I don't know if I'd go as far as say he's a legend, but he's definitely a club icon. And it is a shame that it's come to this, but you know, when you've got a player like Edinson Cavani, a player with his quality, only having 9 appearances in the league, I don't know, man. And it's not been great either. 9 appearances and 2 goals. It's not great. It's not a great ratio, regardless of what you've done. And altogether, he's had 14 appearances in Cup, Champions League and the league. He's had 14 appearances, only scoring 5 goals. So some people are going to look at that and think, oh, he may be past it, but he's definitely not. You know, you have to look at the likes of Higuain. Higuain was just in the wrong space at the wrong time. You know, the move to Milan was not it. That just was not it. I knew from the jump it was not it. The move to Chelsea, you know what I'm saying? It was one of them ones. I can't even talk on it. It was but having him go back to Juventus with Sarri, oh my gosh, he is back to his best. He's reminded me of the Real Madrid Higuain. And sometimes, and it's the same with Lukaku. You know, Lukaku at West Brom, great. Everton, fantastic. Manchester United, just Inter Milan, we're seeing Everton Cavani all over it. Everton Lukaku all over again. So sometimes it's just about a player being in the wrong space at the wrong time, and I think Cavani's time at PSG has come to an end. Now, with that being said, this reverts back to what I said at the start of this video. Manchester United fans have instantly started to link Cavani with Manchester United, and although it does seem logical because Manchester United do kind of need a striker, although Rashford has been in quite decent form as of late, or despite his injury that he's just picked up, it makes sense. But you have to remember, this is where Manchester United fans don't really deep dive into what the situation is. You've got a manager who openly, without really saying it, says that he's focusing on youth players. He's focusing on bringing in players up from the academy. He's focusing on younger players. Look at the players that he signed in the summer transfer window. Very young players. You know, Maguire's not old. You got Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who's not old, and then you got Dan James, fairly young. He's still a teenager, I believe. I'm not too sure on his age. So you have to remember, you've got a manager who's focusing on the youth. Why would he then go out in the January transfer window and splash cash when he could get him on the free as well? Splash cash on a 32-year-old Cavani. Why would he do that? It's not making sense. So, although I do see why United fans would want him and why it makes sense for them to want him, it's not logical because Ole is not going to sign a 32-year-old striker. Ed Woodward is probably not going to sign a 32-year-old striker. Those days are long gone. I think Manchester United, especially the board, director of football, if they work with one, everyone, the owners, they need to be thinking about the next at least 5 years in mind and bringing in players that are going to be fantastic in the next 5 years, e.g. a Jadon Sancho, e.g. a Haaland, who they lost to Borussia Dortmund, but we move anyways. That's tough, you know what I'm saying? That's tough. I'm a Dortmund fan, so I can't even, you know what I'm saying? That's tough. But those are the players you need to be looking at, not a 32-year-old Edinson Cavani, although he can still do the job. Now, where I think Edinson Cavani should go is to a club that has a manager that is known for signing older players. He needs to go to a club that desperately needs a striker. He needs to go to this club where the manager could easily revert to a 4-4-2 when Harry Kane is back, and I've just given it away. He needs to go to Spurs. Spurs is the right move. If he wants to go to the Premier League, Spurs is the right move. He's not going to go to Chelsea because Tammy Abraham is doing great up front, I think anyway, especially as his first senior season under Chelsea. I think he's been fine. He's not going to go to Man City. They don't need him. He's not going to go to Liverpool. They don't need him. Arsenal, they don't need him. They're already struggling with the strikers they've got. Manchester United need him, but I don't see the manager going after him. The only logical move in the Premier League is Spurs, in my opinion, and it makes sense. They need a striker. When Harry Kane isn't there, they're up front, they're just lost. Having someone like Cavani would be great. However, I don't think Cavani's going to want to play backup, which is why I said that Jose would have to revert to a formation where they're playing two strikers up the top. That is a lethal strike force, having Cavani and Kane up the top. That is absolutely disgusting. And then you've got Son besides them, and then you probably have Lucas Moura beside them. That is absolutely illegal. And that's why it probably should happen, and that's why Spurs should probably do this deal, because it makes a lot of sense. Now, do I see Cavani going to China? No, because that, to me, no disrespect to anyone who's from China watching this video, but the Chinese Super League to me is where you go where your career is done, where you feel like you can't offer no more in Europe, any of the top leagues, you know what I'm saying, and you go to China and you just do what you need to do out there in Asia, try and win the Asian Champions League, all that good stuff. That's where you go. The MLS is not out of reach. He could still go there. I don't know how their transfer window works during January. I don't really follow the MLS. The rules are just too complicated for my brain, so I don't even try and follow it, guys. Off, you know what I'm saying? But the MLS is not ruled out. They could still, if anyone's got I think wage cap or whatever it is, they can still make an offer. But the problem that PSG and Cavani himself is going to have is that a lot of clubs are going to want to pay or just offer him a contract. They're not going to want to pay 15 to 25 million pounds for him when they know they can get him on a free. That's the issue that PSG have here, and that's the issue that Cavani is going to find himself in for the next few weeks, because it makes sense, you know. Even on Football Manager, when I'm playing Football Manager, if I can, even if the player is transfer listed, I would offer the player the contract. I would not offer him a transfer fee. Sometimes I do offer the contract, and then when I've got the player, it will say sign now, and sometimes you only have to pay like a couple 100,000, and that's about it, maybe 1 million, and then you can get the player. But when it's big players like this, they usually ask for more money, like 10 million when you do that, and I'm just like, there's no point. So I always just go for the contract, and I'll just wait out a whole 6 months, and then he comes in the summer. But it seems like Cavani just doesn't want to sit on the bench anymore. He's fed up. Icardi has settled in nicely. You know, you got Neymar there, you got young Mbappé doing the madness. Di Maria still holding it down there as well. So there's just no room for him, unfortunately. And it makes sense that he handed in a transfer request. So with that being said, I would like to know in the comment section down below where you think Edinson Cavani should go. If you're a Manchester United fan, please don't take anything I've said to heart. I don't hate you. I got no problem with you. I just feel like every single time a player has a possible exit from a club, they're always linked directly to Manchester United, and I don't get why you fans force it. Just let the club do its thing. I'm a Borussia Dortmund fan. I can vouch for all Dortmund fans across the world. We never ever force a transfer. Not we ever, because you know we don't really have power. Clubs are gonna do what they want to do, but you never see us on Twitter saying, "Oh, we should sign him. We should sign him." None of us ever said we should sign Haaland. That was never coming out of any of our mouths. It just happened. Sometimes you just got to let the club do its thing instead of just constantly saying Manchester United, Manchester United, Manchester United, Manchester United. Flipping right back from the Championship, who's having a fantastic season, would end up being linked with Manchester United. Every player seems to be linked with Manchester United. I don't have a problem with the fans. I don't have a problem with the club. I have a problem with the fact that you guys always force transfers into the club. It just don't make sense to me. But anyway, it's not personal. Just had to get my feelings out there. This is what this show is about. I talk about situations that happen in real life and what I think about them. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about Cavani. Let me know if you think he's still got it. Let me know where you think he's gonna go. If you have enjoyed this, make sure you hit a like on the video and subscribe if you're new. We're trying to get to 10k hopefully before summer. I'm trying to hit the 10k mark, so please like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and let me know what you want me to talk about next, man. There's a lot of stuff happening right now. It's the January transfer window, so of course there's a lot of stuff going on, but let me know in the comment section down below. Just go off in the comments, man. Really, I just want to hear everyone's opinions and thoughts and any suggestions on topics to talk about. Let me know, you know what I'm saying? And without further ado, I'm out. Skedaddle. Peace.
Came through dripping Aquafina, I'm sipping 15, kept a weapon on me. Flow make digits, I'm on my business, stack chicken like what it's gon' be. Crew in the cut, hey, you want us, red run when I tell a peace. Love is